What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Pho One. Today we are at Vietnam Lovely Noodle. It is in the Annex. Definitely my first time coming here. I actually just passed by it on Friday night, and I was like, well, if we're gonna do a pho video ever, or if we're ever in the Annex, that's the place that we can go to for a bowl of pho. So, geez, I need a close up of the pho. Can you do me a favor, just with your phone? Can you get a little
behind the scenes, guys,
video shot of the pho? Can you do a little side
video?
Yeah.
We call this the mucky pho, the mucky swamp one.
It's gonna be a long video. You might not want to be here for the whole thing.
All right.
You know, I reserve the right to be able to give whatever score I want, guys. Okay, and I don't need a restaurant owner throwing down the pressure. Okay. All right, let's get right into it. By the way, winter has just come upon us now. Woke up and there was snow outside and all that. So perfect pho season. Here we are.
Before we get in, I need to say one thing. So I'd like to thank all the viewers who voted to let me come back to the show. Yeah, last week was just a trial, and apparently you guys want me back, so I'm here to stay for a couple videos.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do every Pho 1-6 with both of us.
All right.
Both of us in the video. All right. Here goes everything.
Nice salt. Raw actually tastes better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's
Not even hot, but
like right off the bat, it didn't look like the like visually, it didn't look like the best pho. The broth though
it's pretty good.
The broth is not bad. I mean, it's got enough salt content, right? So it's definitely, it's not flavorless or anything like that.
Good bowl for a cold day, eh? Like, it's nice and hot. A lot of times you will get a colder bowl. Once again, little shout out to the basil farmers.
Yo, they're working hard, man.
They are, honestly. If there wasn't
providing all this basil,
none of this would be possible.
Although, you know, maybe the basil farmers could have worked a little bit harder to produce a little more.
Hey, come on, they're not in
for
season,
these guys, you know, kind of a little skimpy on the basil here at Vietnam Lovely Noodle. But I'll tell you one thing: they did not skimp on the bean sprouts.
Extra. Shout out to the bean sprout farmers, too.
Now, just because they're there doesn't mean I have to use all of them. But
Big Toronto food reviews here.
all right, first taste of the lovely noodle. Piping hot. This is gonna be an interesting one.
You know what? I'll say it right off the bat. Not the best, but not the worst. You know what I mean?
Gonna give it a 9.7. Just kidding. Yeah, no, but I shouldn't joke around. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not. It's the visual. The visual wasn't really doing it for me right off the bat.
I feel like there's a certain image you get in your head of like what a pho restaurant should look like.
That's true too.
And that's like the first thing you judge.
Even the I didn't get any interior shots. Maybe I will, but the inside here is not what you would expect a Vietnamese restaurant to look like. It looks more like almost a Japanese, like maybe all you can eat.
Yeah.
Just in terms of the design in that. It's a little, and I'm saying that actually almost as a compliment, but it's a more modern look, which typically with some of the best Vietnamese restaurants in Toronto, we typically associate, oh, and they have chili oil. That's why Marcello
Well, I don't
just
know.
got
This looks a
excited
little
there.
different though.
But typically, yeah, some of the best Vietnamese restaurants are very old school, you know, like really, they look like they just came out in 1976, you know?
Just at a nom, you know what I mean?
Just at a nom.
That was no.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning. You might not get that reference from the movie.
Was Nicolas Cage in the movie?
Oh, no. No.
He's in some Vietnam.
It's some Vietnam War movie, though, but I should really know the title.
Because he is in one of those. Well, that's actually like
There's
garlic.
also that one with Charlie Sheen. I forget what it's called.
Oh. Looks like water came out of this.
Oh, never good. Never good. Decent noodles for pulling. Not that that really plays a factor. Okay, this is going to be the real moment of truth here, because if this beef is good, it will actually be a game changer for this bowl. But my expectations are actually kind of low. But let's see. Not bad, not bad. That's just the rare beef that I've had here, but there, you know, another thing will be the brisket. I guess this is the brisket here. I don't know.
Well, it looks like it would be tough, but it's actually not as tough as you think. But still, no.
That's upsetting.
So you like
That's
the,
upsetting.
The rare beef you like, but
If you are coming here, don't get the brisket.
just the rare beef.
Just do rare beef. Trust me. That was not that enjoyable. Very kind of like spongy, and the flavor was a little bit off. Not what a brisket should taste like in a pho. Trust me. However, I won't be too harsh on them in regards to that, because you can still do a rare beef, and the rare beef is fine.
And the regular brisket isn't even on the menu. It's like a ketchup, so seasoned brisket, I guess. You know what I mean? So maybe that the full flavor thing would be better if you. Oh yeah, the rare beef is pretty good.
You haven't had any of the brisket yet.
I have.
You have? Okay.
I'm not gonna go back for more pieces, but
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's not like. But it's not like.
I think that says enough right there. It wouldn't. I wouldn't be coming back for the brisket. Let me just put it that way.
But the rare beef is good. Like just if you're here for like a rare beef bowl, nothing wrong with it.
Big bowl of pho, that's for sure. This is a large. I believe it was $10.99.
broth's not bad. Did you put any sriracha or anything on your
Not yet, actually.
That's a pretty good sign, actually. Maybe the broth is saving them a little bit.
You would think so. That it's a good sign that I'm not putting it in because like means that the broth is so good or something like that. But overall, I'm not putting it in just because I wanted to really give it a fair chance.
Because when he puts the stuff in the bowl too quick, that means
Then it does take on a new flavor, and typically it does get better. The sign of a really good pho is when you put in the spices and that stuff, and it's just like you almost feel like it didn't even need it. Like, remember last time at Pho Con Bo, how we even said like, okay, I'll put sriracha and stuff in, but I won't put hoisin sauce.
yeah, 100%. Actually, I think I know my score.
Go first. I really don't. I don't know where you're gonna sit on this one. I actually do feel like we might differ quite a bit.
All right.
So I have my score. You go.
All right, so all in all, decent bowl. Not good, not terrible, right? The noodles are nice, broth is okay. Nothing was screamed. Nothing was excellent about it.
Oh, by the way, this chili oil did make the bowl significantly better. So they've obviously put the time in to create like a good like saute to put into the bowl here because it really is a game changer. I am not going to let that affect my score too much, but even something like that may affect my score a little bit. So go ahead. Sorry.
So, with all that being said, vegetables are pretty fresh. Okay, Toronto Food Reviews. My score is a 6.7 out of 10. You heard it first. Now it's time for your boy, Bolton's Bites.
Okay.
So was that something you would expect from me, or were you expecting higher, lower?
I did have a feeling that you were probably going to go a bit higher than me, for sure. You just say 6.7?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
I feel like I should have won like 6.9, but whatever. I stand with my score. Not bad, actually. 6.7 is not a bad score. I mean, it's still
not,
a decent place.
It's not a
It's
bad
still
score
from
at
bad.
all. It's definitely not a bad score for this place. Okay, so for me,
What the fuck do you know that's supposed to mean when you say it's not a bad score for this place? That means it's a little low.
for me, fucking brisket. Okay.
I'm not going to finish the bowl.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's kind of like
And I was
my
going to ask
Pho
him that. I was going to
It's
ask him
Pho
that. Well, let me ask you this, buddy. You going to finish the bowl?
Yeah, it's kind of my
Okay, so listen, just straight up. This is a 5.9. Yeah. Because it's even when you're in the sixes, that's a place that it's still no. I mean, 7 and above is a place that I'm telling you, yeah, you should check it out. Like, check it out when you're in the area, okay? When you're in the sixes, it's kind of like a get it if you're in the area and you're hungry. When you're at a 5.9,
You're almost
what
there.
I'm telling you is like this is kind of not it's not really cutting it. It's not in that upper echelon. It's not this is not exactly what a pho should be like. There's quite a few things here that are just not on point. The biggest one being the brisket, and even though, well, that's the bowl that we review every time. We do Pho Tien Thanh, which is rare beef and brisket. So to stay consistent, I have to take that into consideration, and they really did not nail it with the brisket. On top of that, though, I don't like when the rare beef is all clumped together, and I found that the rare beef was very clumped together. A good pho, each individual piece of rare beef will be nice, thinly cut, its own separate entity, not bunched up in like almost a ball of rare beef. On top of that as well, the rare beef itself didn't have the best overall flavor. Again, not horrible.
Can I ask you something?
Like, it didn't have. If you want to taste a really bad pho,
Go to the one in Mississauga.
Pho Do Thi, here, Ontario, and Dundas. When you taste that one, you'll notice that the meat itself is even a little bit off. Like, it had an off flavor to it.
Yeah.
I mean, that one I gave a 4.9. That's almost maybe generous.
I have a question.
And this 5.9. So I mean, this is a bowl that like it's manageable. Like, you can get through it, but you're not loving it. You know what I mean? So for me, 5.9. Flavor of the broth was kind of like, I don't know. They're probably using like MSG and stuff, but I don't feel that like this is the type of pho that they took a long time to prepare with really boiling down the beef bones for flavor or anything like that. Tasted more like almost like an instant type of pho. And yeah, for me, 5.9. On a good day, maybe a 6.1.
I have a question before we end this. Is there anything you liked about it? Like that you actually like?
Well, yeah, like the broth is manageable. Like, especially once you throw a little bit of the chili oil in there, it becomes a decent bowl. But you know, decent bowls don't put you in the sevens. You know,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and I mean with the brisket being like all like spongy and like kind of no flavor in that, for me, it's a 5.9.
I like it. Well, you heard it first, guys. Stay tuned for the next video.
Join us next time on Pho 16.
Now it's recording.
You know when you're really done a bowl of pho? When you take your dirty napkin.
Throw it right in.
Thumbnail.